Today I'm having issues. We had the far belt on our shark broke. I'm going to be swapping that out today, but before I did, I saw that the other one was loose. And since I'm going to cut one and re-weld it, I'm just going to do both. I like to have the equal tension. This one seemed like it was fairly loose. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it and work on it, installing them both back. Here's the broken one we had from overnight. I just cut it right at the original weld point. I'm going to need both of the pin rotating guards on either side removed. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off now, might as well. And I plugged up my iron, and I've got it hanging in a safe place. See it going across here. Made sure that the wire wouldn't get melted, unlike it has in the past before. Alright, now we're ready to cut them to length. You get your manual. Look in, I guess, section 8, your servicing, and you're going to get into your round belt replacement. It's 8-7. Now, for the shorter shark ones, they have it in as 1.39 meters. Or 54.7 inches. I've actually increased that. I added an inch to it to 55 3/4 instead of basically 54 3/4. That extra inch, it still is tight enough to run the machines, and it's not hard as hell to get it on the pin setters. So we're going to go ahead and clamp it up and measure these. As you can see, I've got it clamped flush with the edge of the vise here on this belt. Put my tape measure onto the end of the vise. Bring it all the way out. Yeah, see, this belt here is almost, can't see it. How about that? This belt right here, we're looking at 57 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it some to 55 3/4. I'm not stretching it. I'm just trying to keep a nice straight length on it. And now we'll cut the next one. This is the same thing. This is about 57 1/8. So both my belts right now are 55 3/4 inches. I'm set up, but I'm gonna go ahead. My iron's hot. I'm gonna go ahead and move it out of my way for a minute so I don't get burned trying to get set up for the weld. I'll go ahead and clamp my round belt. Spread my clamps open and spread the entire system open as wide as you can without spinning the nut off of it. These fender washers are my own addition to this clamp. You'll find it'll help keep your clamps from breaking if you add some of those for extra stability. Now I'm going to go just right off the edges of the wheels, not on the track. You can see I'm beside the wheel right there. Here's where it rides, so I'm beside it. And I go across, and I'm on the outside here of this one. I got my iron. I'm gonna start welding. Just gonna let it sit there and get hot. That's why you always gotta get your iron plugged in first, so there's plenty of time to warm up. I have in the past used a blowtorch to heat this actual paddle on the end of this iron up, but you don't want to heat it up to a glowing red. You can just use the torch just to give it a jump start. You're not really trying to get it as hot as it can be because it'll sizzle the belt and it doesn't make a good weld. It just overheats it too much. You want it to look kind of like melting cheese, the heat of that, not like you're sizzling and burning it. You want to go in also as straight as you can. Make sure whenever you hooked your two belts together that it wasn't, that they're kind of, the flow of the belt is equal with each other or just mates right up properly. Don't put any twist into the belt. feel like I'm about halfway through. I'm trying to keep it as close as I can to the edge where the actual iron connects with the heating element. That should be where the most heat is dispersed. And I'm through right now. I'm going to hold it as steady as I can. I want to just let it heat up there just for a minute. Not really pushing left or right, just holding as square as I can. Alright, now it's going to be the hard part. I'm going to pull the iron out. Press the back of that in as much as I could to pack it up in there tight. Now I gotta wait 2 minutes before I take it out of the clamps. Oh, that's cool, and I'm gonna go get a razor blade to trim the belt. Alright, so we jumped ahead. It's been in the clamps for 2 minutes now. I'm going to let it out. We're going to start prepping the other belt to weld it. And I'm releasing the double clamp first. We have to wait another 10 more minutes before we stretch the belt on the shark itself. I gotta move my iron again so I don't get burned. Okay, I'm set to weld the next one. We're going to work on it. This one should go a little faster. Iron should be hotter. You always want to watch out underneath the shark. There is a connection cable, communication system. You may want to watch that you route your belts around that, or even always after the fact, you could always unplug it, move it around the round belt, so you'd still be good either way. Alright, so I'm about halfway through. It's about to drop through the other side. Drop through. I'm just going to hold it for a while and maintain where it's at. Alright, now I'm going to bring it out, weld it together, bond together with the clamp. Press as much of that green round belt part, hot part in as I can. And I'll check my time again just so I know how long I need to wait on this one to cool before it comes out of the clamps. Go ahead and unplug my iron. Take the razor blade and I'm going to go ahead and trim the first belt we did, get the excess round belt material off of it. I'm just taking a straight razor and I'm rolling the belt in my hand as I trim it straight around. Okay, so it's also been 2 minutes on the other one already. I'm going to unclamp it as well. Still let it cool for a while on its own before I trim it. And it's time for me to work on starting getting these belts back on. Usually pretty easy to get the back one on first. That's where I always start with. Or I guess what would be considered closest to the bowler section. Just like that, it's already on. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clamp this belt right here to the bottom of this sharp. And I'm going to do the same on the top, but I'm going to pull as much slack as I can towards this back wheel that we're trying to get the belt on. me a little bit more play right here in this area. Now, I've used plastic bags in the past, but I think this is going to be loose enough with the clamps helping me out so I can get away with using a rag to do it. I just wrapped up the rag, and I'm going to go under the belt so I can get you where you can see better here. I'm going to try and just bring it down, up, and around. I have to pull this from the top. So that's the one belt. I'm going to go ahead and trim the other one, and we'll get it put in as well. Alright, so it's time to set that one up to stretch it. If it doesn't go in one direction, go the other way. Try taking it back the other direction. Put it on. Alright, so we got some really good new tight belts on this shark. Time to put our sides back up. And if you didn't know, I took the elevator back off, so I'm able to slide my arm through the hole in the middle of the back elevator. run it in diagnostic, see that it works right. Seems to be carrying my pins again. Alright, looks like we're ready for leak tonight.